to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported talk radio station, throwing ourselves upon the gears of the machine. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Right, you tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Revolution Radio. All right, thanks for listening while we took that short break here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. And now we're going to get back to your host.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the New American Dream Radio show, streaming live on Revolution Radio. That's at revolution.radio. Well, tonight we have a very interesting show. It's going to be a poetry show. Oh, excuse me a minute. Have to get rid of something here. Okay. That was me trying to add another person, and it didn't work. So we're gonna let her call in, I think. Anyway. We're going to have a lot of people on this show, a lot of poets, and it's going to be a really interesting show, and I'm looking forward to it very much. We have a new American dream, not of, give me a minute here. We have a new American dream, not of new homes and toasters and microwaves, but of becoming the type of country we always thought we were. A country where people help each other, people work with each other to make things better, and where people love each other. That's our new American dream. All right, let me start off by, I'd like everyone to very briefly introduce themselves. I will call on you, and you introduce yourself, and then we'll get started with the poetry. So the first person, Sheena, are you here? I see that you're here, but muted. Okay, well, we'll catch up with Sheena when she gets unmuted. Rex, are you here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Excellent. We do hear you. Yes.
Good. Wow, I wasn't expecting this. I was dressed for the radio.
Don't be shy. Okay. Richard, say hello to everybody. This is Richard. Is it Orentzel or Orentzel? I never know how to pronounce your last name.
Yeah, it's hi Chuck. It's Orentzel. I'm happy to be here. Honored, actually. So look forward to it.
Well, thank you so much. Linda, Mac, and Mikey, welcome back. I'm so glad to have you back. Say hello to the folks. And,
thanks, Chuck. Yeah, we're very happy to be here. We will be reading poems written by Frank Moore.
Okay, very, very good. Okay. Frankie, You were the first one here, and here I am introducing you near the end. But welcome to the show, and say hi to everybody.
Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. So glad to see everyone on Zoom. And I was waiting for it for 4 months right now because I missed the last show and I was very sad. So I'm extra excited today, tonight. So
Well,
there's it.
I'm very glad to have you here. Abba Bird is going to be joining us via Skype. And Abba, are you there? Okay, very good. And let's see, we still didn't hear. Sheena was here momentarily, but I don't know what happened. Maybe she'll come back. So, well, since Sheena isn't here, who would like to start? Oh, there's Sheena. Maybe. Let's see if this if the technology will work here. Sheena, are you here? Can we hear you?
Hello, I think we can hear each other now.
Excellent. All right. I think we're all here then. And Sheena, I said in my email I was going to let you kick things off. So if you're ready, go for it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
A lot is going on, and I am calling in from
Okay,
Newport. Yep.
One moment, Sheena. Abba said something. What did you say? Okay. Okay. If everyone can try to speak up and talk right into your phone or microphone or whatever you're using, that will be good. Often when there's so many people, it gets harder to hear. So we'll all have to try to help each other out. Back to you, Sheena.
Okay, great. I am calling in to the New American Dream radio show from New Bern, North Carolina. So it's good to see you again. I am not in South Florida anymore, and I'm calling from Eastern North Carolina.
Okay. Was there something that you would like to share with us, Sheena?
Oh, yeah, sure. Here in New Bern, North Carolina, I have found a really great group of poets, and the town is teeming with creativity. And I would probably recommend that everyone mute their microphones because I'm hearing myself back.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes. So I have over the past 2 years been involved with the Nexus Poets, and that group has now been absorbed into the statewide poetry group in North Carolina. And now I am happy to be part of Next Chapter Poets. It was a group of poets that was formed from a local bookstore that is here in the historical district of New Bern. And there's a really great group of people that I'm just really so lucky to be a part of.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And of course, this past weekend it was Memorial Day, and here in New Bern we have a national cemetery, and I was able to I was lucky enough to attend the ceremony that is performed annually, where the honor guard of the U.S. Marines comes out and offers a a 12-gun salute and taps is played. And there was a fantastic story about a World War II veteran that was an unknown soldier missing in action and finally identified and brought home to rest in his hometown of New Bern. And he was laid to rest in this this Memorial Day. This reminds me of a service that I attended in Miami, Florida, and this was some years ago in 2015 when one of the last remaining Tuskegee airmen was laid to rest. And I was so moved by the service and the ceremony of laying this honored person to rest that I feel inspired in today's poetry show to share that poem.
Okay,
And if it's all right with you all, I'd like to share it.
please do.
This is a poem inspired by Lieutenant Colonel Eldridge Franklin Williams, retired U.S. Air Force, born in 1917 and passed to the Wild Blue Yonder in 2015. So this is the Tuskegee Airmen. The sun's light breached black clouds the day the Tuskegee Airman was buried. Rays far-reaching through the wild blue yonder caressed the shoulders of the widow, her face draped with crepe veil to hide her countenance. The minister clutched his Bible and, holding close all the good book's wisdom, took the graceful widow's hand, imparting to her the Lord's condolence. Black-suited congregants filed into the Baptist hall's wooden pews, shuffling across polished floors. The surviving airmen in their pressed red coats adorned with medals sat proudly by the casket where the Tuskegee Airman lay. A pallbearer approached and remarked, "He looks the same," and other close friends echoed his wry smile, sharing an inside joke carried for years as if waiting for delivery on this day. Red roses flanked the once fit body of the Tuskegee Airman, his hands elegantly crossed and his red lapel pinned with the emblem of the 332nd Fighter Group and the 477th Bombardment Group of the U.S. Air Force. Funeral ribbons adorned with last sentiments flowed, caressing the altar floor. The open casket was draped majestically with the American flag, red, white, blue. The official Air Force seal affixed on all sides was the last Medal of Honor the airman was bestowed. As World War II once loomed, young men eagerly enlisted to serve their country, even where Jim Crow's credo of separate but equal bled as a lubricant into the military machine, and Black men proudly in queue were knocked down like dominoes, one and the next and the next. Negro, re-examination is not recommended, was red lettered on the Tuskegee Airman's falsified medical report, keeping him on the ground. In the flight zoo in Tuskegee, Alabama, black birds took formation, just like white birds elsewhere, delta, echelon, boomerang. The grounded airman defiantly moved up the ranks with college degree as his sidearm. Respectful salutes were earned as he cleared the hurdle of brown skin and bowed to receive officer status. Finally, donning Tuskegee Airman uniform, he mentored young men who marched readily in formation in their boots. The church fell silent as 6 men in dress blues began their slow march towards the Tuskegee Airmen now lying in state. Heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. The casket's cover was gently clicked shut, and the flag slid over, guided by flattened hands, moving over its smooth surface with soft whoosh. The presiding general called "Atan hut," drawing his detail to attention. Civilians and military alike obeyed. Taps filled the air, the muted trumpet billowing a sound ribbon of sorrow and honor. The ceremonial folding of the flag commenced, pulling, creasing, pleating with precision and respect for symbolism in each fold. Peace, patriotism, equality. Equality eluded the Tuskegee Airmen and youth. He eschewed his men's graduation ceremonies, lamenting dreams of conquering skies. He never took flight, yet living to be a gray-haired wonder, forged a colorful stronghold for the next generation. The triangular blue-starred bundle was presented to the widow, the officer bowing. With tentative joy, the choir sang the gospel hymn, "I'll fly away," and the congregants, military and red tails, took their cue to fall out. The Tuskegee Airmen will be laid to rest in official casket, to be interned in Arlington, where the firing party and the Arlington ladies wait. He is beyond the wild blue yonder now, beyond the sun into a realm full of color, where black from white is not discerned. The Tuskegee Airman commands by his legacy.
Wow.
That's the Tuskegee Airmen.
That's quite something, Sheena. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow.
Thank you for listening. That's as a poet, I'm sure you can all understand that there are some poems that we write that we do it and it's a poem, but it's not a favorite, right? Maybe it's one of those filler poems, but this is one of the poems that I love, that I enjoyed creating, that I enjoyed being touched by the subject matter and this person and this event and this moment in time. So this one is very near and dear to my heart. So I'm always thankful to share it.
Well, thank you so much. It's beautiful and powerful.
Thank you. And I feel that here in New Bern, there's a couple of things that I've started, and there's so much inspiration here. This was this town was a stronghold in the Civil War, where the forces held back the Confederate forces. So there's a lot of history that I'm learning here, and there's something brewing.
Well,
I'd love to share what comes of that at some point.
I'd like to hear that at some point, but for right now, I think we should move on to our next poet. Now, I no longer have my list in front of me, but it seems to me that you were going to be next, Richard.
Yes, you did tell me.
What? And here we have the juxtaposition of style. It's really quite fascinating.
Before I begin, if I get to anything where I'm naming body parts, that's okay, right?
You can name body parts, but you can't use any Carlin words. Okay. But the show does go out on radio in a couple places, and FCC can get the station in trouble.
So as far as the poetry community goes, there's a Hudson Valley Writing Center, and I used to go, and I will go again. They have open mic and some activities. You get to socialize as poets there. It's at the Sleepy Hollow train station. But I just retired from work in January, and it was so intense that it for a while it drained my motivation to write. So anyhow, it's coming back. So I only generally write limericks. I've written some other poetry, but I don't publish it. I'm going to start with something I published in 2007.
Okay.
And, it's in this book, actually.
All right.
So, and I tend to write about emotions. So, okay. It's something that Goldilocks Sheen, the real blonde effect I have seen. Her stunning success I would like to possess, but my hair's dyed with envy green. So,
yeah.
Moving on. I also sometimes look at other poets and write about what they said too. So this one is something that relates to something Percy Shelley wrote. His legacy wrecked in the dirt. Ozymandias, badly hurt. Ne'er knew that good deeds are perennial seeds which grow each year with a spurt.
Huh.
And now
it's quite interesting to use the limerick as your mode of expressing these, that because many of them are not the sort of thing that people usually write limericks about, and it's kind of cool.
yeah, so we also, I mean, I have written some about various wars that the United States has participated in. So here, there's also a literary reference here that I think you'll recognize. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's insanest of them all? Nasty mean from Islam, said the glass, 'tis Saddam. Appalled, bushball, bastard, you'll fall.
Oh. Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here's another one about that period of time.
Okay.
For evil, we have a crusade, a march against Islam parade. They've barrels of oil, we'll take it as our spoil and leave them pork bellies in trade.
Yeah.
It didn't work out too well, did it?
Indeed. Very interesting. You'll get another turn later, baby.
No, we can pause here for sure.
Okay. Thank you. And one thing, Richard, you didn't share with the others what job that was that you got done with a few months back.
Yeah, I was okay. I was an aviation safety inspector with the Federal Aviation Administration, but we were the branch of the government I was working with. We were writing the manuals for risk management, how to fly various aircraft, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, Abba, are you ready to share something with us? I can't hear you, so. Well, let's move on. Rex, are you ready? You're on mute.
How about now?
Much better. Oh,
You say
okay.
that now. Okay, I went with one of the prompts from your email.
Oh.
So this is from the death category. This is called ashes. Vacuuming, couch, carpet, crunchy crumbs, phone rings, red power vacuum switched off. Hear answering machine woman say, I'm just calling to let you know Spark is ready to come home. Our cat of 17 years died 2 weeks ago. It finally seemed to occur to him he's 17. He swung from vigorous vocal, ankle-biting, bug-catching, chasing nothing to weak, shaky, fall-over skeletal crawl, lie staring. House call vet rehydrated him, but couldn't sidetrack the decline. Now, apparently, they'd confused him with another patient. I pick up. I'm sorry, but you've made a terrible mistake. Our cat Spark is dead, I say, unexpectedly choking up, voice breaking. Yes, sir, she says. We handled the cremation, and now he's ready. Oh, I get it. He's ready, I'm not.
Something. Our loved ones never are around long enough, whether they're the furry ones or the 4-footed ones or the 2-footed ones. Wow. Thank you, Rex.
Sure.
Frankie, you want to have a go?
Yes, thank you, Chuck. I wanted to thank Sheena for sharing this beautiful poem, Memorial Day, and I'm very proud to be to take part in especially this reading session because it's dedicated to Memorial Day, and especially with everything going on in the world right now, where people are so divided, and I think it's very important to remember the sacrifice of all the brave men and women and animals too all around the world, who took part in bringing peace to this world. And so this was a very touching poem by Sheena. So I wanted to say that.
Thank you, Frankie.
Thank you. Since we're talking about such sad matters and the topic of death, I wanted to read my recent poem. Now listen, I want to be cremated. It's not what family anticipated. Who cares what they think? I'm asking, chuckling with my drink. Oh no, it's not a joke for poet's sake. We never know how much we'll take. I made my mind and figured it all out. Too bad it's not what people speak about. One day I see myself becoming one with God. The veins are black, there's no more blood. 4 elements of nature to finally be free. Existence in its glory, and ether, it is me. Starting point is to die and meet the fire, until no flesh or bones are in the pyre. When glowing body arousing burning lust, with brightest torch turned into pale dust. My wish is tricky, it cause you lots of pain. The trip is far, so be prepared for a plane. 1/3 of ashes scattered on bright green land, at Caherelli, where Irish bird will sing me a lament. The second part will meet the water, so I become another Ireland's daughter. My mother, River Shannon's fast riptide, will wash away my secrets. Riptide will wash away my secrets to confide. And the conclusive task is in the refreshing air, so Dingle's cliffs are blessed with my last prayer. As gust of wind calms down my roar, I'm finally at home at Erin Shore. I'm still so young, yet done with it. The life is in the past, I'd rather quit. This ride is meant to be the greatest thrill. It's time to finish my silly and poetic will.
Ah, very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Abba is having some difficulty, so hopefully she'll be back in a little bit. I think, well, yeah, Linda Mac and Mikey, please, tell us a little something or bring us a little something from Frank Moore.
Yeah, so are we unmuted? Yeah, this isn't the one we were planning on. This wasn't the one we were planning on starting with, but Rex made us remember this poem. So this is a poem Frank wrote the night that his mom Connie died.
Oh.
Connie completed the fading into death this afternoon. She has always lived in her young mind, always was a black sheep, raising black sheep, always wanted to know, always hungry for education, no matter what, whatever it took, deaf to can't, to dumb rules. No time for social frills, no time for BS, no time for limits, just time for deadpan joy of just every day, for no nonsense love, for pushing and demanding for possibilities. She bit or pretended not to hear, just going for what's right, like a tank running you over. You were a fool if you believed her Magoo act. Hero, yes, always growing beyond. Working in a doctor's office after getting a college education, after leaving the leaving of Jim, threatened by his black sheep wife, after pushing me onto the real world. After raising Jerry and me, after getting out of Utah as a free thinker, after just taking Tums and aspirins, Connie at 79 lived a very rich life, always young in life. Now always will be young. Jerry and I are so lucky to be in the black sheep family of Connie. And Frank wrote that in 2000.
Very, very interesting.
Frank said that Connie taught him, one of the things she taught him was that life was struggle, so you better enjoy it.
That's a very good way to look at it. Excuse me 1 second.
That was nice. It's good to hear one of Frank's again.
Yeah, thanks, Rex.
And Mikey?
Yeah.
Feel my envy for that shirt.
Oh, I can't feel it.
It's called Classic Monsters.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I also noticed it. Yeah, very cool t-shirt.
Frankie, what was the inspiration for the poem?
I'm sorry?
What inspired you to write that particular piece?
Oh, recently I've been going through like some tough time, I guess, like some kind of crisis, and like all my poems were like pretty dark. And this topic of death, and especially like the place where you like want to be buried, like it's often like avoided by people. People feel uncomfortable talking about death just in general, and about funerals. It's like still like till nowadays like a taboo topic. And also like it's a cultural thing, I guess, and maybe religious too. And for me, like for decades, it was the same. But at this point of my life, I realized that I need to face it. And I really, like, when you die, you want to finally find peace, and you want to be like different people have different views on how they want to like rest in peace. And I thought that it would be nice if like I leave some kind of instructions for my family. Maybe it's like a little bit tricky, and maybe like too much or too poetic. Anyway, like there is still some vision of like people for other people to know like how I would want it to be, what eternal peace means to me. And it actually, like, when I wrote it, it was like something like heavy was off my shoulders finally. So,
All
That's
right.
that's beautiful, Frankie, because not many people see beauty in passing to the end of your life, right? But there is an aversion to photographing funerals and photographing, documenting those types of events, when that is another important event in life, just as much as birth and marriage, and it's a passing, and there's beauty in that too, and it's an honor of life as well.
At my church, we usually do a video of the funerals, and we make that available to the family, and if they so choose, some of them are public. I mean, I wish I had a recording of the memorial service for my mom, but I think it's not like something you're going to watch often, but I can definitely see times when you might want to revisit it. Think about it. And remember and celebrate life.
That's a great service that y'all offer over there, Chuck.
Yeah. I'm going to read a poem now. I first heard this when I was at my reunion this past weekend, my 50th reunion at Wesleyan University. And this was read by John Hickenlooper, who's a senator from Colorado and happened to be in our class. I say our because Richard was also at Wesleyan with me. So this is called "To Be of Use." It's by Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes, almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals, bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands and crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The picture cries for water to carry and a person for work that is real.
Beautiful, very powerfully delivered, Chuck.
Thank you. The idea of a life of service to others is, I guess, central to my way of thinking, to who I am. So.
And that is a big part of karmic karmic thought, right? That you do these things to purify yourself, right? You participate in selfless service in order to purify your own emotions and your own thoughts, and it helps you to evolve in a certain way. So it's good for the soul. Service.
Yes, yes. Two of my regular guests on this show are their whole life is about service. I'm thinking of Frank Cordero and Richard Flamer, who are both part of the Catholic worker movement. Frank is in Des Moines and Richard is in Chiapas, Mexico. But they have devoted their whole lives to serving others. They provide meals, they provide places for people to live, and of course they do some peace activism too. Just some heroes of mine. Well, we have about 15 minutes left in this half hour, or this first hour, I mean. So we'll start going back around again in the same order. And at the top of the hour, there'll be a station break, and then Michael Annis will be joining us for a little while. And I know that he and Rex have something planned. So we'll, yeah, you. So Sheena, you're on again.
Okay, great. We're talking about veterans. I mean, not veterans, but Memorial Day, and there's something to be said with what happens after the war is over, right? What happens afterwards. And there's a poem written by Sherwood Ross, which you know is always near and dear to me and continues to be a muse for me. He wrote a poem in 1995 called The Blue Cafe. And This is about what happens after the war. How do you rebuild your life? You know, how do you carry on? And you do that through love, which I find to be really beautiful in this poem. So if I may, I would like to share The Blue Cafe by Sherwood Ross from 1995. I believe he wrote this. The Blue Cafe. The war to end all wars is over. The Paris sky is shining bright. Babe and I will play the rover, drive to the wine country tonight. Frost gleams on the moonlit vineyards. Babe unpins her hair along the way. We find blue gardenias on our table when we reach the Blue Cafe. Just you and me, just you and me. Just you and me, babe, babe, just you and me. The war to end all wars is over. I threw away my rifle and my spade. Babe plays ragtime on the piano. The hotel owner refuses to be paid. Champagne kisses in the bedroom. Laughter drifts up from the bar. The drunks will sing the Marseillaise all evening. Europe beholds the morning star. Just you and me, just you and me. Just you and me, babe, babe, just you and me. The world is safe again for lovers. Civilian clothes regain their old appeal. I'm lucky to be among the living. We still can't believe the peace is real. It's hard remembering the fallen as we set off to Spain to paint and write. Babe says she wants to have our child now. No, our son will never fight. Just you and me, just you and me, just you and me, babe, babe, just you and me. The Blue Cafe by Sherwood Ross. Doesn't that bring tears to your eyes?
Indeed. Yeah, beautiful poem, Sheena. Thank you so much. Well, Abba has joined us, and perhaps she can share something now.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. Sorry about that, everybody. I tuned in via what we were doing before via phone, and I could only hear Chuck. So I hung up.
Chuck's not bad. He's been doing good tonight.
I know. I was going to say, like, I told him what he read really carried it. But anyway, I'm sorry that I missed everybody. It sounded I could hear Chuck's reactions, his grunts and sighs and laughs. And I knew that whatever was saying was really good. And I was, kicking myself for not being able to hear it, but I was there in spirit.
Well, good, man. I'm glad that you're here and able to hear now. I hope you will be here for the rest of the show. And it is being recorded, so you'll at least be able to go back and listen. So
right.
There's that.
And everybody else too, because when I checked the station, I couldn't hear anything too. So
yeah, I don't know. My system shows that it's going out on the thing that's supposed to be going to Skype, but I really don't understand why it's not being heard there.
I think I know.
As long as you picked up the grunts and sighs, you got the best of it.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking I could imagine what someone was saying, and it was fine. I enjoyed. I could still hear it. But okay. So should I read a poem?
Please do.
All right.
You have about 7 minutes until the station break, and it's all yours because you missed, so go for it.
Okay. I'll just read a couple of these are oldies but goodies, and some of you like Rex probably have heard these before, but not at a time. In fact, Chuck, you've probably heard them too, but not in a long time. So I will read them again. Actually, I don't think you guys have heard this one. It's called Circus Nights. Circus. These days of balancing acts, clowns, costumes, makeup, stripping strips, saved underwear, laundromats, motel ghosts, days of the strange, days gone by, running hard, passed on the wage slave lives and lame game jives, tired, sleep and get up, wired for sounds, now waking up, vibrations and pulses, to just go, get out there and run, into the lights and into the nights, with purpose and freedom, with all the trees, we're with them, breathing free and me to be, me being me and you being you, and all of us living here together, happy and free.
Yeah.
This one is called Good Things. Good things come to those who procrastinate. No waiting. No waiting at all. Just reading, just thinking about things, like repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results is insanity. Yet persistence pays, and you only live over and over. We're here now. Look at the now. In the green, in the weeds, back to the basics, back to beginner's mind. Quit the grind. Just sitting silent. No waiting. Just being. Just breathing. No expecting. Just deeply free floating. Beautifully, gently, into eternity. But still, here, now.
Very nice.
Okay, this one, thanks. This one is called The Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the lotus flower. From Mother Earth I stand with good intention. For peace and justice for all, ahimsa. But please, just stay off my land, sir. Out of my ovaries and sacred underwear. Time to wash thy temple. Sage the you-know-what out of here. Clearing the chakras like crazy. Chemtrails and sticking poisons. Time to fly. Time to die. Into new beginnings. Beginner's mind again. Now again. Leafy greens with liberty and justice for all. And please, leave no trace. Okay, this is called, are we all right on time? I have one more short one.
Sure.
Okay. This is called Jump Ship. Yes, please go blank yourself because I'm not doing it anymore. In these days of slaves and junkies and doctors on pills and doctors and pills and so much for thrills on Social Security and TV sets washing brains into factory drains, blood rape, farms of slave burgers, mazes of plantations, cows, and prisons for the homeless. Boneless white meat, wandering, squandering veins and pipelines for junk and high bills for heat, and cable spewing King Dick for profits, heroes and losses, touchdowns and field goals, sold in matching shirts and suits, uniforms for slave shops, humiliation military. Just pull yourself up from your cardboard box straps. Like they say, time to jump off the slave ship and really live.
Mm. Well,
we can talk a little bit because I probably, if it, interrupts, it'll be right in the middle of my poem and I can save it for later if there's time. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say hi to everybody, and it's great seeing you guys. I'm sorry my camera's not on, but you guys all look great, and all you guys.
Oh, was that an inadvertent mute?
Can't hear you, Ava.
How about you?
Okay. Sorry about that. You know what? This is weird. I didn't even hit mute and it was muted. I think, it's like, I don't know. I'm getting suspicious here, but what I was saying.
They want to stop it from going out. I know. Thank all of you. Thank you, listeners. See everybody on the other side of the station break. It'll be 4 or 5 minutes.